There's a little hat.
Yes.
Oh.
Andrea and Andreas! Andreas! We have you here! We have a girl gang. I've never had this in my life. This is very exciting, and they're all better than me at chess.
I know a lot about wine, obviously. Drink it every morning. No, sorry, that's whiskey in Ireland. I confuse the two things. Spaghetti?
Lovely.
Burger?
That's 30 seconds to a minute. Alex might lose her first match.
Literally no one opening that's the
Because
easiest
it's
to
the
memorize,
best one.
and you still
It's actually very
mess up
complicated
theory.
at higher levels. Yeah. Coats and accessories. Yeah.
Opa!
Yes! Nerd! I understand that.
So we made it to London barely.
Andrea,
Alright, we're crossing the river, and there's Big Ben.
This is supposed to be team chess. Okay. I'm tired. That was fucking terrible. I'm never doing it again.
He couldn't get a gambit already. Palms are sweaty, they're heavy, but on the service he's in check already.
I'm so powerful. And we are here with Alex's best Norwegian friend. Get in here, Hammer. Get in here, Hammer.
Welcome. I have notes. The
Yay,
legendary
notes.
Oslo Botez Oslo tour.
Yay.
What do you think about this work, Nick? Look at this framing. Okay, the framing is not great, but station to the royal palace.
Okay.
And it has all.
We're here with Anna Kramling, my new Botez sister. Might even bring her to Dubai.
Overhand initiating.
Did you hear that?
Okay, this is Steve. Come out, man.
Don't leave.
Which we're going to be seeing. One of the main pieces.
Good tidings we bring to you and your friends. We wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Now give us some piggy pudding. Now give us some piggy pudding.
We got with us Alexandra and Andrea Botez.
Let's just say.
Do you think chess people are fun?
Honestly, I really.
Okay, I'm hoping this is gonna work, people. I am so nervous. Let me fix. Oh, that's not good. Little bit of starting issues, but we'll be fine. This is gonna be nice. Hey everyone, welcome to this Botez comeback from Reykjavik, Iceland. Alexandra playing today with the where am I? Hereabouts. Alexandra playing with the black pieces against a guy from the Isle of Man, and you know they love to play poker in the Isle of Man, so they probably have plenty of stuff to talk about. This stream is brought to you, sponsored by Coinbase, Alexandra and Andreas, a trusted source for trading crypto. They also have good educational stuff on their website and on their app. So check it out with command Coinbase if you're interested. This game is going to be starting in about 2 minutes. Like I said, Alexandra with the black pieces going up against a guy who is an international master. This is a proper good player Alexandra is going up against today, and frankly, that's a good thing. I think Alexandra always exerts herself that little bit extra when she's playing good opponents. So I'm very happy about the setup and getting to start off with like a proper challenge. Ratings, he's about 2,300. He's an international master. What is the time control? So these are classical games. What that means is that they're going to be lasting for several hours. Each player starts out with 90 minutes on the clock, and they get an additional 30 minutes after move 40. So, I mean, at most, these games last like 5 hours. What is Alexandra's rating again? Her rating dropped below 2,000. So she's like 1988. Not her birth year, but her rating. Or so she tries telling everyone. Is sound good? Is video good? Is everyone liking what we put up? I gotta tell you guys, this design is 100% hammer. I'm not sure that's a good thing, but maybe a little bit messy. Oh yeah, shit, I forgot about this. Sorry. Events, watch events, Reykjavik. Okay, it didn't actually occur to me that they wouldn't have Reykjavik in the Slash events. I kind of took that for granted. Here we go. Actually, you can search. I don't want to search. I'll go through everything to get to where we want to go. And I'll even flip the board so that we see it from Alexandra's point of view. Great design. Thank you. I am not super happy with it myself, but it is what it is. Game start at 4 p.m. their time. No, game start at 3 p.m. Icelandic time, which is now. It is now, people. The game is starting. This is the first game of the tournament. Tomorrow is going to be a double round, meaning that we will, for the first time ever on the BotezLive channel, have Asia-friendly streams. Asia-friendly streams, Pog. 11 a.m. Oslo time, 9 a.m. Iceland time, 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern. But that is something we can be concerned about tomorrow. For now, we just got to get this challenge out of the way. As you can see, the players are chatting with each other, trying to pass the time as the tournament is delayed. First round, always a little bit delayed. So far, 1 minute. And we are clapping to celebrate the speeches, probably the mayors there and whatnot. Give us the rundown of this guy. I'm pretty sure I played this guy once in the German Bundesliga. Like you can tell from his name is Dietmar, which is like the most German thing to ever exist. But he's not representing Germany because he's living in Isle of Man, who actually hosts a lot of very important chess tournaments. And Isle of Man also famous for gambling, so he's probably a poker player. I'm betting that has been a topic of conversation already between these two opponents. Has Alexandra played Kolbus before? I don't think so, but if someone tries to find his chess.com username, you can figure it out. He's born in Germany. Wow, Papa Botez already done the CIA intelligence work. Or what is the Canadian branch? Isle of Man is also famous for motorcycle racing. Okay. I actually heard of that. I heard it's very dangerous because the roads are so narrow, but this is not so dangerous in comparison. Just a little chess event. Is this a 4-hour game? It depends on how well Alexandra plays. If Alexandra plays like a person who has traveled over from the US West Coast without proper sleep and, you know, completely jet lagged, then it might not be a 4-hour game. Just putting it out there, you know, it's supposed to be dangerous. Because it's a 9-round tournament, I believe. Leak the prep? I cannot leak the prep. I'll leak the prep when we start the game. Although I do guess her opponent is looking pretty busy. Okay, I'll leak the prep. He's going to go c4. He's going to go c4 and Alexandra is going to go e5. Okay, prep leaked. Okay, it seems like the players are getting ready to start the clocks. What's his rating? His rating is just below 2,300. So he's significantly higher rated than Alexandra, but I really truly believe this. I think she plays better against better opponents. I think she raises her level. Ulahan coming in with a sub. Is everyone seeing the sub alerts? Are the alerts fine? Oh, I guess I turned off the sound on the alerts. That's my bad. Do you guys have... No, I would be able to see that. She's too used to playing against Andrea. Well, this is going to be a different challenge. We'll see. What's the fastest over-the-board classical game you've ever seen that wasn't a Berlin draw? I mean, that I've seen in person? Because, like, I've seen games that last, like, 3-4 moves. Hammer's rating is 2,600. Is this a 3-hour match? The length of the match very much depends on how much the participants are planning on thinking. But basically, it's up to, like, the max is going to be like 5.5 hours. Wow, you can even tell what his rating is from the sign. That is some massive eyesight. Well done. She looks prepared. Yeah, she's been looking at lines for 2 hours. So she actually got to know her opponent quite early on. Normally in the first round of a tournament, because, you know, you have to register everyone and make sure everyone is in the city and ready to play. Normally you don't get to know your opponent until like half an hour before the first round. But in Reykjavik, they actually managed to tell everyone who their opponent was going to be 3 hours in advance. So what happens if she gets out of prep on move 1? Well, she has prep for other moves as well. So like this guy normally goes c4, but he also plays knight f3. But he's not going to play knight f3 against Alexandra because he doesn't like having his knight on this square against the King's Indian. So if knight f3, Alexandra plays the King's Indian. If c4, she plays this e5 line where he has some weaknesses. And if d4, well, then she can play her Benoni that she's been preparing the last couple of weeks. And if he plays e4, well, then we're out of prep on move 1. But he never plays e4. And also, we've been looking a bit at the French, so... Okay, we're off. Handshake. Alexandra clicks the clock and c4 on the board. C4 has been played. Alexandra is in her preparation. Spot on from Coach Hammer. Just gonna put it out there. Okay, maybe that's not the best place for the... it's fine. E5 instantly from Alexandra. And this guy is gonna be surprised by that. He goes knight f3. Wow. Knight f3 is considered a bad move. But now we're out of prep. Uh-oh. 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 Out of prep on move 2. Okay. Well, you know, it happens. It happens. This is a very unusual move in my defense. In my defense, very, very unusual move. Because this allows black to push the pawn forward. And then you try and trade. And, well, essentially, normally this is considered good for black. But Alexandra is just going to move her knight to protect. Smart. Okay, so c4, e5 was played. Knight f3, knight c6. Smart from Alexandra. She just protects the pawn in the center. She's going to be back in her prep afterwards. Oh. d4. Oh, God. Okay, now we're officially out of prep. Wow, this guy has some weird openings. Okay, so what I thought was he would probably play his knight out, which is the only normal move here. And then Alexandra moves her knight out. And this would be back into Alexandra's preparation. But playing d4 here is very unusual. Okay, so I have one bad news, one good news. The good news is that according to the chess engines, black now has the advantage. And Alexandra plays the best move. Pawn takes pawn. Good move. White takes back with the knight. And according to engines, black has the advantage. Okay, now they say white is very slightly better. The problem here is that Alexandra's opponent has successfully taken her out of preparation. So there's no real problem beyond that the guy sidestepped our entire preparation. Who leaked our prep? I don't know. It's not too bad. Like, Alexandra just needs to go back to her opening principles. Honestly, this is what I've been bugging Alexandra to do, and she just refuses to do it. Because I've told her that she plays better when she doesn't know the openings and when she has to think for herself and come up with her own kind of concepts. You know? Just develop the pieces and get your king to safety. In the openings, Alexandra thinks she knows. Then she doesn't follow like the very basic opening principles, right? Because she thinks, oh no, I've studied this and I'm supposed to not castle my king immediately because that's chicken. So the bad news is she's out of her preparation. The good news is when she has to think on her own, she often prioritizes the smart things. Like getting your pieces out, getting your king to safety. We don't need no stinking prep. Yeah, that's it, Freddy. We're just happy to play a nice game of chess. Can we get the timers up? Man, I knew there was something I forgot. Like, it was on my mind and I was like, there's something I forgot. No, you cannot get the timers, is the answer. No time for you guys. Also, because we don't have them. Because the chess.com relay hasn't really actually started working. So right now I'm just inputting the moves I watch on the videos. Where's her opponent from? He's registered with the Isle of Man Chess Federation. but he's originally from Germany. Dina's also playing. Yeah, Dina is pretty close to Alexandra's board. Okay, bishop b4 check. This is the move I think I would have played. Computer was suggesting to move the knight out instead, but bishop check is a perfectly good move. The guy responds very quickly, blocks with the bishop. That's fine. So now the white knight in the center is undefended, but we cannot really capture it. Because if we capture this knight, then we also lose the protection of our bishop. And alternately, if we try to first save our bishop by making the trade, well, then the knight is no longer going to be unprotected, because then the queen is going to come. Watch out. This is his line. That's why his responses are immediate. Is that real, Tactrix? Because I was watching his games and I never saw him play this in previous games. Okay, so far the moves are coming in quite quick, considering this is a classical game. Alexandra has made the trade of bishops. And now Engine is advocating pawn to d5. But she's not going to play that. She makes the trade between the knights. Oh, sorry, that's my cell phone. And then she offers the queen trade. What did I do to Alexandra? Wow. She's moving very quick. I agree, Snared. Alexandra is offering an early queen trade. Yeah, she doesn't want to Botez Gambit over the board. That's my only analysis of this. She doesn't want to Botez Gambit, so she's offering the queen trade to make sure that she doesn't lose her queen. She's playing bullet on the board. She's making very quick decisions, considering that this isn't her preparation. But honestly, so far her play has been good. Like, White's only move now is queen to d2. White cannot allow the queen trade to happen. You're not going to have any advantage after the queens leave the board. So here she's forcing him to go back. And then the question becomes, how is that position?
Makecard_IO gifted a tier 1 sub to me in.
Oh wow, we even have like the thingy. The talking thingy. Did you guys hear that, or was that only on my end? It was very quiet. Well, I don't know how to make it louder. Queen to e4 or e3? No, that's not going to happen. So if the queen goes to give a check on the king, then Alexandra can just block with her queen, offering the trade again. I don't think her opponent is going to be interested in that. I think for White, it's very important to keep the queens on the board. Her opponent has 5 games following 3d4. Man, Gakaz, I'm such a bad coach. I didn't see that. I only checked for games from like 2016. But apparently he's gone back to his old school openings. Why not knight e7 against the check? Because I'd rather... Black would really like to trade queens here. And White would like not to trade queens, which is why he retreated now. But this is a tricky moment for Alexandra. Like, how does she get her pieces into the best possible positions? He plays 2 knights e3 in like 90% of his games. Yeah. Oh man, people. Apparently he played this opening before. I was not aware of it, and so I was unable to make Alexandra aware of it. And frankly, the opening he played has a bad reputation. So if we were aware of it, we could have just added, it would have been like 2 seconds more of prep. Okay, this is very interesting, guys. Computer is advocating queen to e5. Just trying to get the queen to its best square in the center of the board. And then after the knight comes out to take control over these 2 squares in the center, then the black knight can come out. Try to do the same thing. But yeah, Alexandra's position is a bit unpleasant. Because what has happened is that white has a pawn that has some control in the center, while black has no control in the center. So even though she managed to make a couple of trades, and she has good positioning for the rest of her pieces, like all of her pieces can come to good squares. Her problem is that white's control in the center is going to be very, very big. Like, white has a very easy plan of just pushing both of these pawns up, and black doesn't have any influence herself. Do we go b6 and bishop b7 now? I think that would be a good idea. But I also think it's a kind of a tricky move to find. Because basically the whole point of doing this is to castle to the queen side. And to most humans, it makes like 80% of chess games you castle to the king side, because in order to castle to the king side, you only need to get out your bishop and your knight. Whereas in order to castle queen side, you need to get out 3 pieces. And that's the main reason you almost always go for king side castling. And that also explains why this b6 move is difficult. Because playing b6, bishop b7 has the idea of castling to the queen side. And it just doesn't... That's not going to be your first instinct. This position looks so odd. Yeah, it's very, very unusual. After 8 moves, it's very fresh, very unusual. What about getting your knight to e7 so that you can get your pawn in the center? Well, so after knight e7, white is going to go like knight c3 and then e4. And like there's absolutely no chance whatsoever, considering all the white pieces pointed towards the d5 square, there's no chance you're going to be able to get your pawn up there. And so instead, you're going to get kind of stuck having to deal with these white pawns controlling in towards your territory. What's the time control? It's 90 minutes. Each player starts with 90 minutes. Are they on a boat? No, they are not on a boat. So this tournament, let me go back to the current position. This tournament is being played at the Reykjavik concert hall. It's 3 p.m. Reykjavik time. Regal, thank you for the prime. 3 p.m. Reykjavik time. They're not playing on a boat. They're playing on like a big concert hall. Harpa, it's called. But it's by the sea. It's beautiful. And basically all the walls are windows. So you get this amazing view of the Reykjavik harbor. This opening was called English. Belly. Is the stream frozen? They're both so still. No, the stream is not frozen. Just chess players. Does a Norwegian understand some Icelandic? No. But I can make fun. I can make fun of Icelandic. That I can do. So basically, Norwegian is... Well, Icelandic is what was spoken in Norway 1,000 years ago. So 1,000 years ago, let me just get the moves. So Alexandra developed her knight. But the problem now is that her knight, even though it's developed, it's barely influencing the center. And White's knight is very good at controlling that same area. And White is going to be very good with these two pawns pushing up the board. So Alexandra's position already is a bit uncomfortable because of her lack of central control. But back to the story of Icelandic. So basically, in Norway 1,000 years ago, they spoke the Norse language. And then some people from Norway discovered Iceland and discovered that this volcanic island was actually amazing for farming and for living there. It was green and luscious. And so they wanted to prevent a lot of other Norwegians from going to this paradise on earth. So they called it Iceland. To make it sound like this was some very unpleasant area full of ice so that no one else would come. And then also the story continues that, you know, there was a guy played a game of chess with another guy. They became unfriendly after the game of chess. And so one of the guys... Well, one story we learned in school in Norway was that one of the guys killed the other guy because of a chess game. But there was also, there were some conflicts on Iceland. And in one of the conflicts, Eric the Red was banished from the island because everyone hated him. And then... he went together with his family to Greenland. And they discovered Greenland or something, whatever. And Greenland was this icy, horrible place. So they needed more people to go there in order for it to be sustainable. And so they called it Greenland so that more people would come and settle. I feel like I could have told this story. Are you telling me Vikings were not peaceful people? They had their moments. Anyway, long story short, Iceland is green, Greenland is ice. And because Iceland is quite a far away from the Norwegian mainland, the Norwegian language spoken in Norway developed while the Icelandic language pretty much stayed the same. And that's why today the Icelandic language is pretty similar to the Norse language spoken 1,000 years ago. While Norwegian is completely different. They also found North America. Yes. Well, I was going to get to that, but, you know, people got sick of the story. So Eric the Red's son, Leifur Eriksson, you know, Eriksson, son of Eric. So the son of the guy who got banished from Iceland and went to Greenland, he was actually the one who went to North America and found Labrador and settled in Newfoundland. He didn't manage to survive there and had to go back, but he did go there. Is this a 10-minute match? No, we're going to be here for hours. They have 90 minutes each for the game. And they get some extra. Is your pronunciation of Reykjavik correct, or your accent? I mean, I think it's more likely that my pronunciation in Norwegian is correct than your pronunciation in English. In Norwegian, it's Reykjavik. But I have no idea what it's in Icelandic. But I'm guessing it's quite similar. Also, my R's in Norwegian is not great. So that might also affect my pronunciation. Okay, she castled. She did castle. So, I mean, it's good that she's, you know, getting her pieces out. But she has absolutely no central control. Like, the opening has actually been a bit of a disaster for Alexandra. She has no central control whatsoever. I'm born in Bergen, Norway, Mr. God. If you're actually going to say it in Icelandic, there's no J sounds. Wow. Yeah, no. So basically what we've learned, Icelandic is a weird language and we don't really have any use for it. We don't need to learn it. Castling definitely was a mistake. I mean, honestly, probably the mistake was more like hereabouts. Like, the engine was pretty adamant that she needed to get some central control while she still had the chance. And when she didn't do that, when she just made these trades, it turns out that, you know, she's really struggling to have any influence in the middle of the board. And the guy does indeed go e4. Alexandra is very cramped right now. And apparently this guy had played this line before. So I'm kind of pissed at myself for not looking at enough of his games to be able to predict his opening. Is Hammer a German name? Germanic, sure. Norwegian has a lot of German influences. Do you have more stories you can share? I don't know. It's been a while since I've done solo casting like this. And I didn't realize that, number one, it's tiring in a different way, but also I'm so invested in Alexandra's game that when I don't like her position, I get like really mute and unenergetic. You have 170 minutes more to talk. Yeah. These games are going to be long. That's for sure. How to save Alexandra? Well, what I would like to see Alexandra do is try and get this F pawn involved ASAP. So right now she should start by playing d6. This is a fairly obvious move, trying to open up for the bishop to get involved. And then after something like bishop to e2, we need to move our queen, maybe also attack this pawn, so that when white, for instance, castles, now we can go f5 and we have some influence in the center. Like this would be optimal for Alexandra to have happen, because we eliminate one of white's central pawns, we get our bishop out. Life is not good according to the engine. Engine says that black is in massive trouble, but at least here our pieces have some energy and some purpose. D6, knight b5. Oh wow, that's greedy. Yeah, good point. After d6, she's actually losing a pawn. Okay, it turns out losing that pawn would actually help her massively, because it gets her pieces into play very quickly. But it's always difficult for a human to kind of accept losing a pawn. So yeah, that's something she's probably looking out for. What are they building in the background? I'm pretty sure that's a mast, not a construction thing. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not sure. There is a crane? Oh, okay. But is it a crane for offloading container ships, or is it a crane for building? Is Anna Kramling in the back? I know Anna Kramling is close by, but I'm not sure whether she's in the back of this frame. Reykjavik this week is basically just chess streamers. It's basically chess TwitchCon. All the big streamers are there. Eric Rosen's there, Dina's there, Anna Kramling is there. Who am I forgetting? Have you been to Iceland? Yeah, many, many times, Fitz. Is that Rapport in the back behind the board? I don't think Rapport is in this tournament, but you know, close. Simon Williams is there. Good call. Why is Hammer not playing? Because Hammer's busy trying to coach Alexandra into having a good result. So far, he's massively failing to do so. But, you know, there's 9 rounds. Does IM will blunder copium? I mean, IMs have blundered in the past, but it's not optimal that Alexandra is struggling finding half-decent placements for her pieces. Hammer, what do you think about Hikaru streaming on Kick? Honestly, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to talk about this, but I'm very intrigued. It's very, very interesting. I wonder if he's still getting are the chess.com partnered streamers getting embedded on Chess TV if it's on Kick? I think that's a very important question to know the answer to. Because if they are, Hikaru moving over to Kick might mean that some of the smaller streamers who are still getting 50% cuts from Twitch might move over to kind of stick with Hikaru and be able to get some raids from Hikaru on Kick. I haven't seen all the details, and unfortunately I missed Hikaru's announcement where he probably went into further details about what's going on. I was stressing out so much about getting this stream up and running and also trying to prepare an opening for Alexandra. I've had a rough day, if anyone cares, but yeah, no, the Kick news was super, super interesting. I think in general, the more money in chess, the better. So Hikaru getting a big payday is going to be good for chess somehow. So generally very positive. Oh, he's not exclusively on Kick. Oh, okay. Yeah, I wonder how that's going to work. Kick is dirty money. Yeah. But it's like Kick is dirty money, but Twitch is our money. As one of the content creators on Twitch who has like, for every dollar you guys spend on me, I'm seeing like, well, in subs at least, I'm seeing maybe 40, 45, 46, 47% of that. So you can say Kick is dirty money, but at least most of the money Kick is our money. Most of the money they're giving you extra is our money. But yeah, that's a different discussion. You had a bad. I'm slightly kidding, Papa Botes. It's fine. It's just it's very stressful getting ready for the first day of the tournament. We were also really concerned about like how's the view gonna be with how's the camera feed gonna work. There's like all these things you try to prepare for the first day, but you never know whether it's all gonna kind of work out. If you don't think they're going to change it to 60-40 soon on Kick, you're delusional. Yeah, but 60-40 is still much better than Twitch, right? And also, they're not 60-40 now. So, I mean, you can kind of live in the moment. Anyway, so what's happening right now, everyone? Alexandra is playing her tournament in Iceland, Reykjavik, Iceland. And she's gotten off to a rough start here. Not because she didn't castle. She's been a good little girl. She's castled her king. She's gotten her pieces out, some of them. But there is one opening principle that she has failed massively. And that is having central control with your pawns. White is about to move this pawn 2 steps forward. After which White's central control will be, massive. Just, insane compared to Black's. So the question is, can Alexandra try to combat this central control? Or can she exploit that White in order to get this bind, as we often call it, with the 2 pawns having very nice central control? Can she try to punish that in some way? Punish the fact that White's king is still in the center of the board, has not castled. Can we create an attack? And that's why she's thinking right now, and this is going to take some time, because they left normal chess openings very, very early on. So now she's got to use her own mind to figure everything out. Tell Alex to fix her posture. I mean, as far as chess postures go, this one is pretty good, I think. Also, can someone tell us what is this obsession with posture? Why is it better to be... Oh, I guess maybe it's because it's training your muscles. Like, the benefit of having bad posture is that you're not using any of your muscles trying to hold your body up, right? Having good posture is like a massive workout, a non-stop workout trying to kind of hold your back into place. So basically, when you're critiquing people for bad posture, what you're really doing is critiquing people for not having a massive workout while doing a chess game. Forced posture is bad. Changing posture is good. Oh my gosh. That's not making it easier. Bad posture can lead to back pain. Living life can lead to back pain, let me tell you. Growing old leads to back pain. She moved? Okay, what did she do? She played a6. Yeah, okay. It's not a... Actually, it's one of the computer's top choices. Wow. But yeah, she didn't want to go d6 because she was afraid of knight b5. Because now she cannot protect the pawn on c7. However, it turns out knight b5 would have been a terrible move because then black just gets all of her pieces into play. And even though you lose a pawn, you get so much energy in your pieces. Like you can give up this pawn as well and just boom, boom, boom. Sacrifice your knight. Boom. Checkmate. Like, yeah. Just releasing the energy in the pieces. So it turns out she didn't actually have to be concerned about that knight moving forward. Because that was just going to get all of black's pieces into play in a very nice way. But instead, she was afraid. So she decided to go a6. And now Engine is massively advocating sacrificing a pawn on the next move. Wow. Wow. So after f4, Engine is saying b5 is good. And you know why the Engine is saying this? The Engine is trying to punish white for not having completed development. And in order to punish white, it means we need to open up the center of the board. And in order to open up the center of the board, we need to stop white's control of this d5 square with the pawns. So we need to lure the black pawn away. And then, wow. Then Engine is suggesting d5. Wow. Engines are really, really good at chess. Wow. And then if you take this one, you've sacrificed 2 pawns. But at least now suddenly you're making threats on the white king. And when white castles, then... Oh, I guess... Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. No, it's actually recommending you go after this one. And then if white castles, you capture because then you open up for your rook along the side. That is wild. I don't think Alexandra realizes how precarious her position is at this point. I don't think she realizes that her inability to have any pawns in the center is actually like a long-term disaster. So I'm not expecting this move to be about this pawn sacrifice. And if it is, boy, wow. Then she's a chess genius. Okay, the guy... What? No. Wait. What? How did this happen? Okay, never mind. The guy got his king to safety already. Okay, so he went after this a6 move. He went bishop to e2. And then Engine still wanted her to go b5. Just to go absolutely crazy. But instead, of course, she played d6. Because that was the point of her move. She wanted to control the b5 square so that the knight couldn't come and attack her pawn. And the guy castles. And now f4 is coming. F4 is coming and our position is going to be so cramped. Okay, she needs to facilitate this f5 move. There's no way she's going to survive this game unless she manages to go f5 soon. So she needs to move her queen. So for instance, queen to g6. White can then push the pawn up and then we push the pawn up. I think this is what she should be doing now. But the problem is after bishop f3, this bishop will point down on the b7 pawn. And this pawn is going to be a bit of a... It's going to be annoying managing to keep that pawn protected. Okay, so this is the situation. This is the current position. Queen f6 was naive. He's never going to exchange queen so early. Well, queen f6 was still the best move. So we're talking about this situation here early on. After bishop takes and then knight takes. So her mistake was maybe trading the knights here. But after the knight trade, this queen is really well placed in the center. So here she absolutely should play queen f6. And the guy should absolutely not trade. Let's jump in here and see. So what happened? A6, bishop out, pawn. So this is where we're at. So far, she's also spending a lot more time than her opponent, but that's very normal, considering that she got a really bad opening. That may or may not have been my fault, if I'm entirely honest with you. Is this at an airfield? We've had some people ask that. And we've had some people ask whether they're on a boat. The fact is that they're in the beautiful concert hall for the Icelandic opera and the Icelandic, concerto, whatever they're called. And the concert hall has all window walls with a beautiful outlook on the harbor. Is Dina in the back? I mean, she might be. Dina is supposed to be playing very close to Alexandra, but I don't know where she is physically. I think Dina was the one who just got up, right? Okay, everyone, this stream is presented by Coinbase. Coinbase is the trusted source of crypto trading for the Botez sisters. If you want to learn more about Coinbase and also crypto, they have educational tools on their website and in their app. Use command Coinbase to get more information. Hammer reading out the ad caught me by surprise. Well, the reason I wanted to get that ad out of the way is because I'm gonna go on a little break. I'm gonna get some water, and after that, I'm doing another ad that I'm actually really excited about doing. Yeah. How much am I gonna reveal? I will take a little break, chat, and when I get back, we're having an unpacking ASMR moment. Just gonna put it out there. You may want to stay tuned for this. I should have stayed. I wanted to see the chat reaction. Bubble wrap. Ad during Hammer's ad. I'll wait, Chess Gains. I'll wait a little bit. Is that a chessboard? It's not a chessboard. No. Where's the timer? I forgot about the timer. Honestly, I think we might go without the timer. But I'll look into it for tomorrow. Bad mics, the steroids. So, oh, is my mic bad? Sorry about that. 3 out of 5. We're not gonna start until everyone's back. Alexandra is down on time, big time. Yeah, no, she's way down on the clock. This guy has been playing so quickly. The guy is Hammer. The tournament is in Reykjavik. As Kramling, she has a timer on stream. Well, to be honest with you, the moves are coming in 15 minutes delayed. So if Anna has a timer on stream, it's probably a 15-minute wrong timer. Does Hammer have presents from BotezLive? He does. This is a pillow. It might be. Definitely can be used as a pillow. Can you put the bag down? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Why is he cuddling a bag? Fair question. Fair question. Okay, so here's what's happening. We're gonna go to this layout. I'm very sorry, but we're gonna have to say goodbye to Alexandra for the time being. Because we have an unpacking. Look at this cool BotezLive wrapping paper. I really like it. I feel like, well, I feel like the Alexandra and Andrea are so famous. But this is it is the BotezLive merch. It's currently available on BotezLive Point Shop. I think that's the link. Someone will probably put it in the comments. I'm now gonna open it because the one thing Alexandra said, yes, you can do commentary, but when I have the white pieces, you have to wear the white BotezLive sweater. And when I have the black pieces, you have to wear the black. So I'm gonna get the black BotezLive sweater from this little pack. Oh, sorry. And then we're properly dressed for the stream. Wait, where's this? Put it on. I am putting it on. What do you think I'm doing? The sweater in all its glory. Take it off. Sure. That's the second best thing, right? I do love this wrapping paper, it has to be said. The material feels amazing. Oh, wow. Soloff, that means you already got it. Because that's what I heard as well. I haven't actually tried it yet. Because I wanted to save unwrapping it. That was the worst ASMR. I'm sorry that you didn't like it. I am not a professional ASMR streamer. We could also go wrapped in BotezLive paper. Honestly, it wouldn't be the worst thing. Chile and Iceland. Oh, it doesn't even say BotezLive. It's very low. Okay. I saw this going differently in my head. If I'm entirely honest with you, I imagined this going differently. And now Alexandra's gone as well. Where did they go? Oh no. Okay, we're fine. Sorry, amateur streamer. Amateur streamer. I saw this going very differently in my head. I had this whole plan of, oh, I'll unpack the merch during the stream and it's going to be great. Hammer, you look silly in that. Yeah, so like I was saying, I thought this was going to be very, very clever and then it wasn't so much. Streamer rating below 1300. I mean, I think that's a little rough. I mean, I think I'm above 1300, but I'm not the 2500 I thought I was. Oh, here's the BotezLive logo. Didn't even see it until now. It's on the sleeve. Representing. The intention was there. BotezLive.shop for W merch. Thank you, Donut. I appreciate you appreciating the attempt. Will Andrea be a commentator? I don't really know. The only thing I know is that I'm going to try to keep you guys entertained for the first 7 rounds, which I'm starting to realize is going to be tricky to manage. But that's my goal. And then for the final 2 rounds, I'm actually busy elsewhere. I'm doing commentary on the Champions Chess Tour with Magnus Carlsen. So then you guys are gonna have to have someone else. My goal is that you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. But, you know, sometimes you need some distance for people to appreciate what they've got. So I agree the stream hasn't gotten off to the best of starts, but I still hope you're gonna miss me when I'm gone. Is Dietmar a German guy? Well, look at his name. Let me tell. Let me know what you think. I previously said Dietmar is the most German name ever. I think that's pretty accurate. But now he's representing a different federation. You may see that on his like player card next to the board, there's some kind of red red flag. And you have to be a very interested geography nerd to know that flag, I suspect. How many rounds today? So normally in these classical tournaments, which can last, like, each game lasts often 5 hours. And playing more than 5 hours of chess is detrimental to your health. So normally in classical tournaments, you only play one game a day. However, Icelandic people do like things that are detrimental to your health. So tomorrow they're going to be playing 2 rounds in one day. And they're going to be starting at 9 a.m. Icelandic time. And then they're going to play again at 4 p.m. Icelandic time. It's going to be a very, very rough day on all the players. There's actually 400 players in the tournament. Isle of Man? Did people actually know that? I mean, I'm like the biggest flag nerd I know, and I didn't even know that was Isle of Man. Rook d8 played. Okay, we'll put it on the board. Okay, I'm kind of liking this move because I think actually maybe I'm not liking this move. It depends very much on what her follow-up is. But I'm thinking playing rook d8 to protect the pawn on d6 does suggest she's about to go c6. So I'm guessing after f4, she's going to play c6. The idea being that now she's controlling some important central squares. And if white does nothing, then you can be aggressive with your pawns on the side of the board. This feels sensible to me. If we could get these pawn advances to control in towards the middle, that would be nice for Alexandra. Wow, this guy is so fast. Wow, he played again almost without thinking. What a guy. What a stud. This guy just wants to annihilate Alexandra and go have dinner. I can't really blame him. Tomorrow's going to be such a rough day. It would be very advantageous to finish early. Okay, he's gone f4. He is just controlling the entirety of the board right now. What rating is her opponent? Her opponent is an international master, which is the second highest title in chess. He's rated just below 2300. That's a good move. Yeah, no, he's playing very quickly, but frankly, he's only played good moves so far. So he's keeping the pressure both on the clock and on the board. Sometimes you can be happy that your opponent is playing quickly because it means that they're not going to be as focused or they're not going to find the best moves. But so far, this guy is both playing good moves and playing them very, very quickly. What is Alexandra's rating? 2000. So Alexandra's about 2000. He's about 2300. There's a 300 gap. Is this game on chess.com? Yeah, it is, but I think it's being relayed with a 15-minute delay, which has become pretty normal in the last half a year. And I gotta say, as a chess broadcaster, it is, I hate it. Like, it is the worst thing to happen to chess in a very long time. And people say they do it because of fair play, but like, who are you kidding? In my opinion, it does less to improve fair play than it does to deteriorate the ability to make chess exciting. She moved? Did she really? Oh yeah, she did. She moved her bishop out. Not a massive fan of this move. Oh, actually, I'm fine about this move. This is fine. So basically, I was unsure whether Alexandra's bishop would be okay on this e6 square. Because when she goes here, she's basically provoking her opponent to use the pawn. And, oh, not there. d7. Okay. Whatever. She could have gone here as well. It would have been fine, because if the pawn attacked the bishop, then the bishop can just go back, and then the pawn loses control of the e5 square. So then you can get your queen or maybe even your knight there in the future. But I guess that advance is why she was a bit afraid of that. So she's moving her bishop out one step instead, which is also okay. Like, I've been ripping into Alexandra's position quite a bit thus far, but like, her position is really, really difficult to break down. At some point, white is gonna be done with all the normal, obvious moves, and then you gotta play some freaky moves. Like, what I'm sitting here thinking about is whether or not white can go g4. Like, if g4 is good, then it's very good. Because if you manage to get this pawn one step further, black's queen is in so much trouble. And you can also try to start an attack against the black king. But apparently g4, you know, it also weakens the white king position. If you're going to push all your pawns up the board, then there's no pawns left to defend your king. So it's a double-edged sword. And right now, Alexandra at the very least has a plan. Like, Alexandra is trying to make b5 happen. So maybe the guy goes, well, he's probably going to go rook d1. That's the most sensible, obvious move. And then because the rook leaves the protection of the a2 pawn, Alexandra can actually push forward here and try and challenge in towards the white position. Because if white now tries to trade, this pawn is undefended. There's two attackers and only one defender. But after all of these trades, the knight will also leave the protection of the a2 pawn, which will allow us to come up here and capture that one. So, yeah. I mean, Alexandra's position is pretty shitty. But it's difficult for white to break down. Okay, so let's recap the past couple of moves. a6 was played to control the b5 square. She moved the pawn out to get the bishop into the game. And here, rook d8, f4, bishop d7. Rook a to c1 played. Okay. The guy continues playing incredibly quickly. Like, incredibly quickly. But now the big question is, does this latest move give Alexandra the opportunity to go b5 and have some influence in towards the center of the board? The problem is, after b5, white can go knight d5. C6. Oh, wow. She's playing very quickly. But C6, I really like. C6 feels like a good move to me. Because, like I was saying, if she tries to push this pawn forward, trying to exploit the fact that her rook is going to be having an X-ray attack towards the A2 pawn, then knight d5 just feels very good for white. Opening up for the rook pointing down, putting pressure on the c7 pawn. So instead, Alexandra going c6, it makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. I don't see a delay in Chesscom. Okay. There's a delay on Slash events where I'm watching the games at least. But we also have the video cameras. So, you know, we're fine either way. We're seeing the moves as they're being made on the camera. Or rather, you guys are seeing the moves and then I'm inputting them. She's playing in Reykjavik, Iceland. Wow, he's still playing so quickly. But to be fair, he did have a very obvious move. So right now, when Alexandra pushed her pawn forward, the advantage of this move was that she's now controlling the d5 square. She's making sure that this knight cannot enter into the black position. However, the disadvantage of this move is that she now has an unprotected pawn on d6. And so white is moving his rook over to attack this pawn. Now, according to the engines, I'm just going to put this out there. According to the engines, it was much, much better for white to use the other rook. So engine wanted, after this rook had gone from the corner in towards the middle, provoked Alexandra into playing this c6 move, this move. Now the engine wanted to move the same rook again and use this rook together with the queen to attack the d6 pawn. Because here, when the bishop moved back to open up more defenses, then white had the option of rook f3, followed by rook d3. And then you could have all three of these pieces pointing down on the black pawn. But notice how it's very important when you have three pieces pointing together and the queen is included, you don't want the queen to be standing first. Because even if you had three pieces pointing down here and the queen was first, well, the queen could never capture the pawn even if you had more pieces controlling, because there's a rook defending. So in general, when you're trying to capture something, you often want the least valuable piece to be the one to attack first, because then the trades are normal. Triple stack. Yeah. Very, very powerful triple stack. But he didn't do this. Instead, the IM opponent, international master opponent, Alexandra is facing, he thought, okay, now I moved my rook into a better position. Now I'll move the other rook into a better position. But it turns out this rook actually wanted to be a part of the attack in a different way. And now the engine has gone from saying Alexandra's position is completely disastrous to saying it's just a disaster. So that's the good news. Does this tournament affect their FIDE ratings? Yes. This is a FIDE rated tournament. I think one of Alexandra's main goals is getting back. Well, she wants to get back above 2100. But in order to do that, you first have to get back above 2000. But I think her chances of accomplishing that is pretty good. Can we turn off the engine again? No. The engine stays. Should she continue the B5 strategy? Good point. Good question. So right now, she needs to take care of the pawn being threatened. There's two ways of dealing with this threat. Number one is to create a counter threat. Knight G6 here is an interesting move for Alexandra, because this puts pressure on the white pawn, and white may be very tempted here to move this pawn forward. But if you move the pawn forward, you give up control of the dark squares, and you let the knight jump into the E5 square, where there are now no white pawns that can challenge the knight's positioning. So a position like this, even though Alexandra here ends up losing a pawn, this could actually be one of her better options. Yes, she lost a pawn, but she gets an amazing knight in the center of the board that cannot be chased away easily. And actually, before the game, I was talking to Alexandra and I told her, try to calculate some variations where either you get your knight to a square where there are no pawns that can chase it away, or a line where you calculate to prevent your opponent from making that same thing happen. So in my opinion, I believe that Alexandra and like her awareness of pawn structures is not so good. And so I've been trying to encourage her to look for these kind of moments where she gets this incredibly well-placed knight in the center. But the problem with this thing is that she loses a pawn. Like if she goes with her knight to attack, the counter threat means that she's not able to defend her pawn. So there's a nice solid alternative here, which is to move the bishop away so that the rook takes over control. But you have to do this properly, because if the bishop now moves one step forward, the rook does get control and defense of the d6 pawn, but after the move e5, it turns out this actually isn't working out very well, because the pawn is attacking the queen, and if we try to capture white's pawn, then the white queen can go and sacrifice itself for the black rooks, coming in with a back rank checkmate. And yeah, you don't want that to happen. The back rank checkmate, it's not a Botez gambit, but it's still pretty bad. Some would even say it's worse. So you're going to have to find a different way of moving your bishop to keep the pawn defended. So this is the current position in the game. And the threat against the d6 pawn is very annoying. I saw someone in chat suggesting knight to c8. And that's the kind of move we definitely don't want to make. But if I'm entirely honest with you, it's the kind of move that Alexandra might actually end up doing. Knight to c8. Because it keeps the pawn on d6 defended. But so it's not a blunder per se. It's a move that preserves your pawn, but it also means that all your pieces are kind of standing in each other's way. So in chess, normally when you're getting all your pieces out, you want to have your rooks connected, talking to each other on the bottom rank. That's what white has done here, right? White has the rooks looking next to each other, and they're even standing next to each other so that they can point forward together. This is what we want to have, rooks talking to each other. Here, rooks talking to each other is blocked by the knight. Also, this knight can now never move because it constantly needs to stay here and protect the pawn. And if the knight can never move, then this rook is never getting into play because the knight will constantly be blocking. She did it? Yeah. So that's why the engine rather wanted her to go bishop e8. And probably here Alexandra was concerned about this e5 move regardless, because she didn't want to allow the white pieces to attack the black king. But actually here, after pawn takes pawn and the sacrifice, white gives up their queen, but it's not checkmate on the king. And the king can come in to protect against the checkmate. And then it turns out in this kind of position, because Alexandra had such a terrible position earlier, it would actually be nice for her to have a queen and a pawn in trade for 2 rooks. Because, for instance, now there are no more pawns white has in the center restricting the options for the black pieces. So this actually would have been a good trade for her. But there's this general conception that a queen is worth more than 2 rooks. And like in the past couple of years, that theory has been, if not disproven, then at the very least disputed. So giving up your queen for 2 rooks is not that bad as we thought previously. And especially if, as part of that trade, white gives away the 2 pawns, that is just completely ruining your position.
Duckfish gifted a tier 1 sub to Alexandra Samaganova. They have given 15 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, Stuckfish. So, yeah. It would have been better to move the bishop and then sacrifice your 2 rooks. Because frankly, these 2 rooks aren't the most worthwhile pieces. Let's take a look at what she played instead, knight to c8. Now, this rook is being blocked by a bishop and a pawn. This rook is being blocked by a pawn in front of it. But it's also being blocked from getting into the center of the board by the black knight. Would we rather have a white queen for these 2 rooks than have them being completely unemployed? And the answer is yes. Yes, we would have rather liked to have the white queen. Imagine Alexandra and Anna Kramling playing together. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen because basically they're too similarly rated. Their ratings are too close to each other. And with the Swiss pairing system, you often end up playing either someone who's a little better than you or a little worse than you. However, that being said, there's a real chance that Alexandra ends up playing Dina. Dina was very close to being Alexandra's opponent in this round. They were only 5 players apart. So that could definitely happen if they end up having similar amount of points. How much time do they get? They start out with 90 minutes. Could Alexandra play Anna later in the tournament if they have similar scores? Like I said, it's very, very, very unlikely. Like, they would play each other if they both had like 7 points out of 7. But I think it's fair to say that's not going to happen. And as long as they're on like 3 points out of 6, that's going to be like the majority of players are going to be on that same score, and then they're going to be too close to each other for the pairing system to put them up against each other. Dina and Alexandra are both assigned to certain tables. Does that mean they can't be paired together? No. No, that is a separate issue. Alexandra has 45 minutes left. Yeah. Well, she had 45 minutes left 15 minutes ago. It's probably even worse now. And it's not that Alexandra has been spending that much time. It's just that her opponent is playing ridiculously quickly. He's made a move. Guys, normally you're yelling at me whenever he made a move, right? Oh, no, he didn't make a move. My bad. That explains why you weren't yelling at me. I see it now. What are you yelling at me, Gerber? I'll read what you write in the next 30 seconds, and then it's anyone's ball game. Thanks for the sub, Scott. And thanks everyone who has been subbing today. I know I've been bad at reading them out. It's overwhelming for me with this stream. We've got a lot of viewers, a lot of action going on. And, you know, I'm very unaccustomed to having this many subs come in at the same time. But I'll try to call them out when I see them. Like Mr. Hot right now coming in with a prime. Okay, I'm going to take a little bit of water. A reminder to everyone that I am using the Botez sweater with this nice little logo on the front and the BotezLive. Oh, you guys can't really see it. BotezLive on the sleeves. If you're interested in getting the same very nice cozy sweater, the web shop is open now at BotezLive.shop. Is there a shirt? I don't think there's a shirt. There's a chessboard and pieces and sweaters. Is there a shirt? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I should shut up about things I don't know the answer to. He's taking his time now? Yeah, good observation, Spy. For the first time in the game, he's actually thinking. But I think he's also pretty happy that he's forced, or rather induced, Alexandra into making a very, very passive move. He can sense this might be the moment to strike, with the black pieces somewhat discoordinated. Oh, he did move. Okay. A4. Expanding on the queen side. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if at some moment in this game, white will just go controlling everything with the pawns. I mean, I could genuinely see this happening. And Alexandra's position is so bad that even though I just let black capture a free pawn, the engine still thinks white is better. Marauder-ish, thank you for the sub. I hope you have a nice day. Yeah, so yeah, even in the fantasy variation, turns out Alexandra is losing. Because now, even though if you take this pawn, it turns out that just opens up for the white rooks to try and attack the black king. Even here, after giving away a pawn for nothing and moving all the pawns away from the white king, even here, white is much, much better. Chiz, thank you for the whatever that message is. Are we making predictions on the upcoming games? I mean, we should. One prediction is just bad. Yeah, but Gerber, I can try and make predictions. I'll try to formulate something if I know that I got your backing. We do like to promote gamblers on this stream. This stream is being presented to you by Coinbase, the BotezLive most trusted cryptocurrency exchange. If you want to learn more about crypto, go check out their educational stuff on their website and app. Use !Coinbase for more information. I think everyone will agree it was the proper timing. Okay, I'm gonna have to check in with more water. We'll wait for more moves. The guy is yeah. Alexandra is not doing well. She has no pawns influencing white's half of the board, and the white pawns are advancing on black's half. So it's not looking good. She's also massively down on time. It was mostly an opening failure, but I would really appreciate if you guys didn't focus on that when we talk to Alexandra after the game. Because opening failures make the coach look bad. Okay. I'll get some more water. Bad coach? I said don't focus on that. Okay, we woke him up. No, we didn't. He did write something down, but Alexandra is still thinking. I feel pretty bad making Alexandra play something new, and then I had missed that he has this pet line that's just bad, but apparently is very good when you don't really know how to react to it. Queen e7 played. Oh, I genuinely can't tell when the flap on the clock is on Alexandra or and vice versa. Okay, Queen e7 played. That's fine. So Alexandra's plan of going b5 is not happening anymore. The massive amount of white pieces pointing in towards that square has kind of put an end to that. It's not easy to suggest moves here, to be honest. I mean, maybe she could get her bishop over here. Yeah, I think she needs to get her bishop kind of close to her king. I think she's going to play her pawn up to f6 just to control this e5 square. Basically, what Alexandra needs to do right now is that she has to stay very, very still, not do anything rash, because if this position opens up, then her pieces are just completely out of play. So she just has to sit still and hide. Basically, Alexandra needs to approach this game as if she's playing Fortnite. She just needs to find a good hiding spot and just wait for the opponent to make some stupid mistake, falling down, taking lots of fall damage, and then you can get back at it. Bishop f3, okay. I think the opponent taking fall damage is the only hope here. Fortnite reference from a Fortnite streamer. It makes sense. Where's Andrea? Andrea's probably sleeping. No, actually, Andrea's probably at boxing practice at this hour. I don't know if you guys noticed or caught the info, but Andrea is actually boxing against someone who's more terrifying than Dina. And I mean in physical stature, not in, scariness. A lot more. Yeah, Mama Botez. Just to clarify, are you saying that Dina is super, super scary or that Dina is super, super unintimidating physically? Dina's pretty scary. That's what I'm saying, guest. She trained for SEALs. Oh, so you're mostly about Michelle. Okay. That's fine. Dina's sweet. Wow. That is the first person I've ever seen called Dina sweet. Give a move here for Alexandra. I mean, just hide. Well, Alexandra is probably going to go bishop e6. So the advantage of bishop to e6 now is that it threatens the pawn on c4. And so if the opponent does fall asleep, there's a chance we can just nab this pawn. Probably not going to happen, but we might as well give it a go. And then if white protects the pawn, then f6. And we move this bishop back and we're standing on our bottom couple of ranks and we just pray. Hope for the best. Will Alexandra play bishop e6? Oh, wow. People are really, really wanting to gamble their channel points, huh? What rating is Kolba's? He's an international master. It's the second highest title you can get in chess. He has a rating at about 2,300. Oh, time is running out. I gotta gamble. Okay, I managed to gamble in time. Honestly, I thought, will Alex play bishop e6? I thought it was not even worth making a prediction because I thought it was so obvious that she's gonna do it. But you guys actually decided to give me better than 1-to-1 odds. I just made 30,000 free channel points off of chat. I wish I had bet more. That's right, Hammer. Swing it more in Doubter's way. I mean, my predictions are always on point. What do you mean? Has a Hammer prediction ever been wrong? Other than predicting the opening from Dieter Kolbus or Dietmar or whatever this guy's name is. Dietmar. Whatever. Question from the chat. If the opponent falls asleep, are you obligated to wake him up? No, you are not. Absolutely not. But he has a lot of time on his clock. Next, you need to comment on poker. I really want to do that, Mama Botez. Although it must be said, I thought Jamie was incredible as a poker commentator. But I really want to try it out. I think I could be good. You know, I know all the names and terms. Most of them. I sometimes struggle with thinking I have a straight when I only have 4 in a row. But, you know, you can't be perfect. He plays so fast, it gives him time to sleep. 5 head. You're not wrong, Jeremiah. Imagine how Alexandra feels right now. She's completely, you know, all her pieces are on the bottom 2 ranks. Her opponent's pawns are just pushing forward, and frankly, more are coming. And her opponent feels like he might as well have a nap during the game. Like, your confidence can't be very high at that point. I don't understand Queen e7. Can you explain why not Knight e7 instead? Well, the knight needs to stay where it is to protect this pawn. Because this pawn is having a lot of pressure down towards it. So the knight cannot move. Basically, none of her pieces can move. There are no good moves. Accidental novelty coming in with some accidental wisdom. In bad positions, there are no good moves. That's also why she's spending so much time. She's trying to find a good move in a bad position, but in bad positions, no good moves exist. So you just end up getting really, really low on time. Bishop e6. Attacking the pawn on c4. Making me regret not betting all the channel points I had. Seriously, easiest points ever. I was genuinely considering telling Gerber, well, we cannot have that as a prediction because it's too obvious that she's going to play bishop e6. But no, there are some silly gamblers in the stream. Okay, now b3 played. b3 played very quickly, just protecting the pawn that Alexandra was pointing in towards. Okay, next prediction. Next prediction, will Alexandra play f6? He didn't play it? Oh. My bad. I just thought, well, we've gotten used to him playing so quickly. I thought he already made a move. Never play f6, chat says. Wow. I didn't realize we had this many fine gold viewers. Who in chat identifies as a fine gold viewer? Or are you just saying never play f6 just for other reasons? Okay, so for this prediction, it only applies if she plays f6 on the next move. Only applies for the next move. If she ends up playing f6 later in the game, doesn't count. So this Dieter guy is going to play b3. I can pretty much guarantee it. And then the question is, will Alexandra go against the wisdom of Mr. Ben Feingold and play the move f6? Okay, yes is having incredible odds. Let's go a bit harder this time. Don't say that. You'll ruin the odds. Oh, I guess that's right. Okay, Mr. Habs, could you please get the F out of there? I will never understand chess tournaments putting their cameras between the walkway and the board. It is done in every chess tournament. It's ridiculous. $90 minutes is way too much time. It's not when I play Circus. 90 minutes is too little time when I play, and it's too much time when I'm watching others play. Which makes a lot of sense. She's not amused. I mean, she's under pressure right now. But she's not down a pawn or anything. She's under pressure, but she can try to basically just sit still and, yeah, hope for the best. Is there a grid available for the tournament? Normally I would have it on my second monitor, but I don't have it. Someone else will help you out, I'm sure. Okay, B3 has been played. Now, the prediction everyone is waiting for. I got 75,000 channel points on this. Pawn to F6. Let's go pawn to F6. I guess she also has... Oh, she also has A5. A5 is probably a decent move. Okay, she did something. She did play F6. Okay, good. I am getting so rich off of this chat. This has got to be the dumbest chat in the history of the world. I just made 171K on that. Wow, you're giving me your channel points. I've lost all my coins. Well, better luck next time, Dexter. But I appreciate your donation to the Hammer Channel Points Fund. This is the Isle of Man flag, supporter. It's honestly one of the first flags I've seen that I had no idea what was. Thank you, Perk, coming in with the prime. Perk probably got bankrupted in the channel point scandal. Needed to sub to get more channel points. If you other guys didn't know it, you actually do get more channel points for subbing. And you also get more channel points for bits and stuff like that. I'll just put it out there. I suspect there's quite a few bankrupt people in chat. Oh, you don't get extra just for subbing? You only get better multipliers? Is that a thing, Mega Man? I thought you got some channel points for the sub itself. My bad. Bankrupt people subbing on Twitch? Well, to be fair, their bankruptcy was mostly in the BotezLive coin. What is the BotezLive coin called? Channel points? That's kind of boring. How do players learn playing slow chess if they only play fast chess all the time? I mean, slow chess is chess still, right? So it's more of a trying to get into the rhythm of having more time and being able to spot more threats from the opponent, having more time to formulate your plans, stuff like that. The main thing, someone who has only played online previously coming into a classical tournament like this one in Iceland, I think the main thing would just be, number one, it's very different playing with physical pieces than playing online. For instance, on chess.com, you cannot make an illegal move. And that's the kind of thing, like, people who play for the first time, they don't even think about that. And they're like, you know, oh, I'm not allowed to do that. I've never experienced this situation ever in my life. Because chess.com kind of takes care of business for you. Okay, so the guy keeps pushing his pawns. Pawn to a5, the latest move here. So now, what's the point of playing pawn to f6 that we were going to go bishop f7? So computer is recommending bishop to f7, but I kind of don't like it because then there's bishop g4 pointing down on the horsey. And then if the horsey is captured, then we might get some trouble here. What is the significance of playing bishop f7 here? Why not do this? Okay, I'm trying to figure out a prediction. So basically, Alexandra only has 2 plans here. She can try to get this knight to the d4 square. And in order to do that, she needs to, she needs to make some stuff happen. That doesn't work. This guy is under attack. So, like, if the guy is unattentive, then Alexandra can get a good position, maneuvering her knight up to this d4 square. Here, Engine says the position is equal. Because the knight is coming into d4, there are no white pawns to kick that knight out. So I guess the prediction here, and if he tries knight a4 to attack the b6 square, then we should be able to go c5 and just ignore this guy. And then go with the knight to d4. Like, this is by far her best hope of surviving this game. Trying to get one of her pieces into a great positioning on d4. So, the prediction we're going to have now is, will Alexandra play knight to a7? Yeah, I think that's the best plan. What about queen c7 and knight e7? Okay, Gerber cannot spell, but that's supposed to be knight a7. Okay, it's too late. Cancel, refund. Refund. Cancel. She played bishop f7. I was going to vote against knight a7 if I'm entirely honest with you. Oh, would have been 3 points. Gerber. Oh yeah, my bad. Whatever. I pronounce it how I feel like. If he's messing up, then I mess up. That's just fair. Actually, bishop f7, which Alexandra just played, I was trying to figure out what is the reasoning behind this. Why is the computer always advocating this? And I really struggled to understand the reasoning, but I think I just had a aha moment. So after this knight to a7, what we were seeing was that while we tried to get the knight to the d4 square, the engine would always say that playing e5, opening up for the bishop, and just opening up the energy in white's pieces would give white a winning position. So I think the reasoning for bishop f7 is just you sit and wait, which we did say was the plan. But it also means you have the queen controlling the e5 square. So that now, in case of this e5, we can just capture and we win a pawn. Okay, Engine is still saying black is in big trouble after white gives up a pawn for nothing, a central pawn for nothing. But, you know, at least it's better than some of the alternatives. Okay. What were the moves here? So we had bishop e6 attacking the pawn. Pawn protects. f6. We made a lot of channel points on these 2 moves. And now after a5, bishop f7. who seems to be winning? Right now, white is looking good because white has the more aggressively placed pawns, and the black pieces are stuck on the bottom 2 ranks of the board. So white's position is looking good. But if Alexandra is able to get this guy to this square, then she will be fine. So it's just a question of whether or not Alexandra will realize what needs to be done. Okay, knight a4 played. I actually saw that. Knight a4 going for this b6 square. So basically, Alexandra's plan now is to go knight a7, which allows the knight to get into this b6 square and attack the rook. But after the rook moves, if white is not attentive here, like if white starts doing silly moves, then this knight comes into d4. Thank you, Dubs, for gifting a sub. So if this knight can get to d4, then you see a massive change in the eval bar on the side, going from massive advantage for white to being okay for black. Like even here, Alexandra is still much worse. Like you can even just sacrifice the rook. Like black is much, much worse in this position, despite having won a rook, but there are chances for survival. So after knight to a4, computer wants to go rook b8. I guess that's sensible. Also sensible is knight a7. Basically, you're gonna have to make both of these moves, I suspect. Is she out if she loses here? No, Dark Strike. So the tournament is 9 rounds, and no one gets knocked out. This is what is known as a Swiss pairing system, which means you play against people who has the same amount of points as what you have. So right now, everyone has 0 points. So she plays, some guy according to the system. But next round, she's going to play someone who also drew, or who also lost, or who also won. Hey, Jesse, how are you doing? How do they get paired within the first round? It's kind of tricky. So basically in Reykjavik, it's an accelerated Swiss pairing. So they divide the field into 4. So they divide the field in half. And so they have A and B. And then they divide A and B in half also. So then they have A1, A2, B1, B2. And then the number 1 player in A1 plays the number 1 player in A2. And the number 1 player in B1 plays the number 1 player in B2. Are you still happy you asked the question? Is the A-B draw random? No. So they are divided according to their rating.
Gifted a tier 1 sub to Jesse_February.
Thank you, Stuckfish.
Gift subs in the channel.
Which group is Alexandra in? Alexandra is in A2. So basically, Alexandra is very close to being ranked in the middle of everyone. The tournament has 400 participants, and Alexandra's rating puts her at like 190. So she's at the very bottom of the A2 group, which is good because that means she gets to play a good opponent. Who is highest there? The guy playing on board 1 would be the highest rated in group A2. Because number 1 in group A1, which of course then is the number 1 player in the tournament, I think it's Ivanchuk. He plays number 1 in the A1, A2 group. What's the goal for Alex? I would say Alexandra's goal is just, you know, play some good chess, feel good about chess again. This game, not really making that happen, considering she's being pushed back. Her opponent is not spending any time, and she's kind of getting, yeah, getting pushed around. But no, I think just, you know, feeling good about playing chess, hitting one of her preps, and beating a 2200. I think those are good goals. Last time she played, she beat a 2200. So that definitely is a goal. And you know, just feeling good playing chess it's important to not have a miserable experience, right? We want Alexandra to enjoy playing so that she might want to play again sometime in the future. How do you come back from +1 with black? Well, so there's like different positions that can be +1, right? Like white could have +1 with a massive attack. White could have +1 with, you know, some kind of elementary endgame. There's so many different ways of having the computer in your corner. And here, Alexandra is not even down a pawn. So basically, she just needs to try and improve the positioning of her pieces. And we've talked about how she can try to make that happen, trying to get her knight up to the d4 square. If she manages to do that, she'll be fine. And so the question becomes, how do I get the knight up there? Well, number 1, this square is not defended. So in order to go there, I need to go c5. But that actually works very well, because for the knight to get to d4, I also need to move this pawn. And pawns don't go backwards, they only go forwards. So we're hoping the opponent doesn't really pay attention and allows Alexandra to make this maneuver with the knight. And then the position is not +1 anymore. Instead, it's going to be like +0.5. Okay, Alexandra played a weird move. Did she really play b5? Did Alexandra forget how the pieces move? Did someone catch her reaction? Yeah. She needed to sit still. She needed to just try and not do anything and hope for the best. I genuinely think she forgot about en passant. I genuinely think she forgot about en passant. Surely not. I mean, she couldn't, but I mean, how else do you explain this move? Like, you would never play b5 if you remembered, oh, they can just take en passant. Any mulligans? Oh, man. Oh, God. I hope she didn't. At the very least, if she did forget about en passant, that is going to make a very easy YouTube video title. Okay. That's exactly what you were going to say, Vila? Yeah. I forgot the rules of chess. I made my tournament comeback and I forgot how the chess pieces move. Definitely content worthy. Okay, so unfortunately, en passant is allowed. So Alexandra just lost a pawn for nothing. I think she feels like she's going to get this pawn back. So she moved her rook over now to attack the pawn. There's like 5 issues with this. Let's talk first about the one issue that's not an issue. If the opponent tries to reinforce his pawn with another pawn, then Alexandra can capture on b3 and attack both the white knight and the white rook. So that's fine. That thing we're not concerned about. However, even a move like b4 is very, very good for white. Because even though Alexandra now will be allowed to recapture the pawn she temporarily lost, then after the trade of knights, c5 is excellent. Not only does it attack the black rook, but it also attacks the black pawn. So if the rook moves back, we lose a very important pawn. Alexandra is still down a pawn, but frankly, just as big of a problem is the fact that white's pawns in the center are advancing down the board and causing not really mayhem. It's just over. Like it's more of a nuclear bomb than, civilization falling apart step by step. It's just instant. So yeah, so the point I was going to make, after b4 takes c4, what we would like to do is to capture this pawn so that, bad things don't happen. But if we take this pawn, since the black rook has moved out of position from protecting the other black rook, it means that these two guys working together on the d file will just capture the black rook and it's over. Check, and this is soon going to be mate. So b4 is a winning move for white, but b4 is not what white is going to do, because there are other good options as well. One of them is queen to a5. So the queen moves over, protects the pawn on b6, but also offers protection to the knight. And now when Alexandra moves her queen over to increase the pressure on this b6 pawn, now white can go c5. Because even though Alexandra still loses or still wins back this pawn, now you don't have the threat against the undefended knight. Because the knight is protected. So you do threaten the rook, but the rook will move. You'll trade, but even though white is technically not up any material in this position. What has happened compared to earlier is that all of black's pawns are being threatened by the white pieces. So we would rather go back in time to this position when we're incredibly passive but not dead, rather than that position we were looking at where, you know, everything is just miserable. Okay, so what happened? B5 takes rook B8. He played queen A5. Yeah. So he doesn't find the B4 move, which was the best move, which was the most clever move. But he didn't need to find the most clever move because the second best thing was pretty darn good as well. And then one of the reasons this is very bad, like Alexandra losing the first game is not a problem. Like, you played an international master, you're allowed to lose. Losing against a better player, it happens. But the problem here is the way she's losing. She's going to be so disgusted with herself. And it's very difficult not to let one bad game kind of get in your head and affect your performances moving forward. Got to make sure her confidence doesn't get shot. Yeah, but how do you do that? That's the question. I'm guessing she played queen b7. Yeah. So she's protecting her own pawn and reinforcing the attack on white's pawn. Sensible move, but c5 now is very easy. Hammer needs to prep a post-game pep talk. Hammer's pep talks are not, let's just say, encouraging. It's not the kind of pep talk you want to give someone who's suffering. A Hammer pep talk can be a good thing, but they need to be addressed to someone who's already in a decent mental state. You had a good pep talk last time, actually, did I? Can we just find the VOD from last time and just play the video rather than me having to figure it out again? Hammer pep talks are more like a beating or a lashing. But they kind of work if the subject is not, you know, devastated already. Like, I'm not dissing my own pep talks. I'm just saying there's a time and place for everything. And this is not the time. What are your plans if Alexandra retires from the tournament after round 1? Oh gosh, are we there already? I'm pretty sure we agreed on a package deal. I wonder if I still get paid in full. That should probably encourage her to keep playing. Hammer's already bought and paid for. Might as well continue. Check the fine print in the contract. I wrote the contract. Can't believe you didn't teach her en passant. Yeah, that's on me. My bad. Hammer retiring as a chess coach. I mean, normally when I do these kind of solo casting gigs, I end up quitting my chess career. So only quitting as a chess coach is improvement as far as I'm concerned. Is this her only game today? Yes, it is, Chris. But she's playing 2 games tomorrow. Tomorrow is like the Icelandic chess day of doom. It is gonna be rough. So tomorrow we're gonna have something so unusual that it's not really even worth mentioning here now, because I'm not sure if the target group is gonna hear it. But tomorrow we have Asia-friendly BotezLive streams. Asia-friendly streams. Okay, could this guy please get the... I mean, that's a nice knitted sweater, but it's not really what we want to see. Honestly, it was saving Alexandra from... Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, come back, dude. You might as well just stand there. We don't want to see the slaughter about to happen. Can you explain again why c5 is the best move in the position? Yes, I can. Alexandra has put 3 of her pieces, the knight, the queen, and the rook. All of them are attacking the white pawn. c5 protects the pawn. People are like, oh, Hammer, teach us some chess. Oh, chess is so difficult. It's actually very easy. Pawn is attacked, pawn gets protected. I don't get what you guys struggle with. Humble? I mean, that's not an adjective normally used when talking about me, but I think my humbleness is underrated, underappreciated. If it's so obvious, why is he taking so long? Well, Actually, I'm not sure. Actually, I'm kind of surprised he's taking so long. Because he hasn't really taken very long for any of the previous moves he made. Do you think Alexandra has to become woman grandmaster? I think Alexandra will survive the world without becoming a woman grandmaster. I think she will. She has other qualities to let her survive this tricky place called the world. So no, I don't think she has to become a woman grandmaster. Hammer, what's your rating? 2600. 2635, thereabouts. Hammer, explain why bishop takes b3 doesn't work. It does work. But so basically here in this position, what white needs to realize is that what is more important? This pawn that's 2 squares away from becoming a new queen, or this pawn, which is the furthest back pawn other than these 2 guys protecting the king. And the answer is then you would like to keep the pawn in a better position to become a new queen. And even though Alexandra then captures the pawn and attacks the rook, you're fine because the rook can move, attack the bishop. And even after the trade, and this is important, Like, this variation would not work if not for the following feature. Here, the pawn cannot capture on c5. So if white's pawns could now just be captured by playing 2 moves in a row, then this would be good for black. But the problem is you cannot capture this white pawn because it opens up on the d file, allowing the white rook to capture the black rook, winning the game. And so basically what has been Alexandra's problem pretty much throughout the game, ever since this rook and queen came to point down on this this black position, is that, you know, there are some circumstances in which you cannot move this pawn because of it needs to kind of stay there and block white's ability to capture the rest of the pieces. So that's why c5 is good, and I am expecting Dietmar to play it. No, actually he plays e5. Okay. So good news, bad news. The good news is white did not protect the pawn on b6. The bad news is that the computer engines say e5 was even better than c5. So yeah, that's not great news overall. What's going to happen now is that maybe Alexandra tries to take, but then takes back. Yeah, we still cannot take this because, well, ever since we put this knight back, that there hasn't been contact between the rooks, and that's causing major problems in many variations. So we're not able to move our pawn on d6. We can capture the pawn on b6. But the problem is, after we make all of these trades, then white goes c5. Still cannot take this because of, yeah, the same situation. And then we get a position like this, where Alexandra is still not down a pawn. But these two pawns working together, trying to make their way over to the other side, becoming new queens, they're kind of tough to stop. She played already. Okay. Well, if she played already, I'm expecting that she played knight takes pawn. Would I be correct? I would. Basically, she has to play very quickly now. Because I think at this point, she's down to less than 10 minutes on the clock. Would you resign in this position? No. No, I wouldn't. In general, as long as your opponent is thinking about their moves, you shouldn't resign. Like, I'll resign when I think my opponent can beat me without thinking for a single second. They gotta convince us first, yeah. No need resigning early on. Like, if the guy is spending 2 minutes trying to figure out the right move, then he's not 100% sure he's gonna win. What do you think the main lesson from this game is? En passant. Oh God, chat. Don't you dare say that when we're talking to her after the game. If you guys even mentioned the word that is not to be named, we're banning everyone. Sub only. Emote only. Fuck, there's probably some en passant emotes as well. Yeah. I'm trying to mentally prepare myself talking to her without having her scream. Well, she's probably going to scream, but I'm hoping I don't make her scream at me. I have to be very careful about my choice of words. Let's avoid the words passive, en passant, central control, pawns in the center. I think those are the 4 key words to avoid. Pawns in general? Okay, the guy made a move. And Alexandra has made a move. So he took the pawn on d6. That seems fair. Alexandra has captured the knight on a4. That's also fair. Now Alexandra has both a queen and a rook pointing towards the pawn on b3. So probably the pawn is going to recapture. And then Alexandra is down a pawn. Yeah. D-file. We may also want to avoid the word D-file. So let's recap. Words to avoid when talking to Alexandra after this game. En passant. Central control. What was the passive? And one more thing. Wow, we have some rich people in chat. Someone's made a killing off the predictions today. 19D05C72 submitting for a 3-minute emote only. Just as well, let's be honest. I feel like we're kind of sitting in a hospital waiting room. And we know it's not good news. And we're just waiting for the inevitable. And it's close to the worst feeling in the world. It's probably actually maybe top. Okay, she moves her bishop back to reinforce the protection of her pawn. Pawn to c5, pretty automatic. Should be. Pawn to c5 reinforces the protection of the passer. Seems pretty good. Ironically, now the guy is playing slower than he was in the opening. Sure, now he's taking his time. So annoying. Your opponent trying to choose between 7 different ways of winning. Then he's thinking. Tricky opening decisions. Oh, just boom, boom, boom. He's letting her cook. Yeah. And she's going to be nice and sauteed by the time she gets out of this game. He's letting her cook and we're not liking it. What's the time situation? Alexandra is at like 5 minutes. Kolbus is at 50. Let Alexandra cook and the kitchen is on fire. Yeah, something's on fire here. This is not fine. When do they get extra time? Move 40. But this game is not going to last until move 40. We're on move 25 right now. Also avoid the word space. Yeah, fair enough. Ooh, she looks up at her opponent. That death stare is only really worth something if you have any threats or something to contribute on the board. How could you see this game end up in a win for Alexandra? I mean, I'm a pretty creative guy, but that stretches beyond my imagination. Aren't you supposed to be supporting Alexandra? I mean, I guess. Well, she already hired me. She can't fire me. I got that 5-day deal, people. No refunds. Yeah, precisely. I'd fire you just for saying that. Yeah, just for doubting the boss's authority. Alexandra is gonna have bigger issues to deal with than trying to fire ill-behaved commentators. Queen B3, Queen E3 checkmate sign. I mean, it's a check. Checkmate, not so much. I mean, Alexandra could go here and give a check on the opponent. But in chess, it's not so much about counting coups. It's more about actually killing the opponent's king. It's very uncivilized that way. Would you say he played a good positional game? Yeah, he did. But he got... Alexandra made it too easy. That's the brutal and honest truth. She didn't pose him as many difficult problems as she could have. How did the game start? It started with the English opening. Same chess.com custom theme I use. Let's go. What's that? I mean, if you don't use this board, I don't know what you're doing. It's the only acceptable chessboard online, as far as I'm concerned. Have you ever played at this tournament, Hammer? Yeah, I have. More than once.
This is my old card's rating. Sorry.
Did you guys hear that?
Chess. But what? 2000s.
I feel like the king is safer here than when it is here.
Okay, I turned off the sound for you guys, but I'm still hearing it. I have no idea where this sound is leaking from. Vila. Vila's not here. Vila's probably sleeping. It's probably Vila's fault. I turned it off for you guys. It's too distracting. Okay, I'm still trying to figure out where this sound is coming from. Queen D2. Okay. That doesn't feel like the best move. Why didn't you just push your pawn forward when you had the chance? I'm noticing a theme where this streamer blames the mods a lot. Well, I mean, that's why you're there. Imagine being a streamer and not blaming the mods. Queen B3. Queen B3 has been played. Attacking one pawn. I was about to say attacking two pawns, but we're not actually attacking this one. So the only way for white to avoid losing this pawn is by pushing it forward. And then what? Yeah. Like, Alexandra can't even attack any of these pawns. Like, this guy's defended, this guy's defended, this guy's defended, this guy's defended. The bishop's defended, the queen's defended, the rook's defended. I hate it when my opponent just defends everything. Queen D2, such a boring move. Yeah. Try hard. Yeah. Shame on these people traveling halfway around the world to Iceland. And then they're being tryhards? Imagine. Yeah. It's just better when you're the tryhard. And he goes A5. Big surprise. Pawn is now officially protected. Isn't Isle of Man a stone throw from Iceland, more or less? I mean, you're right that they're both islands in the northwestern hemisphere. Doubt you could throw a stone. I mean, on my globe, probably would go rather easily. Your guess is 650 miles? I think it's way more than that. Maybe not. Iceland is much closer than we actually realize. Also, Iceland is way, way further south than what a Norwegian initially thinks. Like, I think Iceland is as far south as Bergen, which is not northern Norway at all. So to a Norwegian, Iceland feels pretty far south, and then to everyone else, it feels pretty far north. Are you in Iceland right now? No, I'm at home in Oslo. How's Alexandra's position looking? Alexandra's position is looking dead lost. She is down a pawn, and the opponent's extra pawn is the one here on d6. So basically, they both have A pawns. They both have C pawns. They both have 3 pawns on the side. The only difference is this guy. But the problem is this guy is blocking Black's rook. It's 2 squares away from becoming a new queen, and it is very well protected by the other white pieces. So yeah, it's not looking good. Would Hikaru win this with Black? No. He would not. I genuinely think, and I realize this comes under the severe punishment of copium, but I genuinely think that Alexandra would beat Hikaru from this position. Okay, he played c5. That makes sense. Wait, what did she do? I missed one of Alexandra's moves as well. Can someone tell me what Alexandra did? Queen a3. Okay, queen a3, c5. Okay, so the good news, people. Alexandra is about to win a pawn. She's winning a pawn now. Rook b5 is an attack against 2 white pawns at the same time. You're doing the attack together with the queen. Black wins a pawn. Let's get a prediction for rook b5. Quickly. 30-second prediction. Okay, too late. She's already moving her hands. She's about to make a move. Okay, she's hesitating. We might get this prediction through. Yeah, no. Void, void, void. That is a big, big void. Rook b5 was played. So now she's attacking 2 pawns at once. The problem is, now after queen e2, even if she does manage to capture one of these pawns, then the queen is invading. Oh, actually, that's bad. Okay. So we found one variation where Alexandra wins. Someone was asking for that. I said I didn't have the creativity to find a line where black might win. But turns out I did. I underestimated myself. So you're saying there is a chance. You know, it's a 1 in, what was the 1 in a million? I don't remember the exact reference. Did I just make it obvious to chat that I'm old enough to have seen Dumb and Dumber? I guess I did. Does even chat know Dumb and Dumber? Like, chat is probably way, way younger than that movie. 1 in 10 million, is that the thing? How young do you think we are? Well, I don't think you're young, Mega Man. But I think, you know, the rest of chat might be young. Okay, so we're winning a pawn. Let's not become super optimistic, but we are winning a pawn. And winning a pawn is the first step to potentially saving ourselves. And with that, I'm gonna take a little break, and then we'll be back with the end of this this game. Wow, donation. And I turned off the sound. Did we have text to speak? Oh no, maybe that was my bad. Thank you so much for the $7 donation. I missed your message. I'm very sorry about that. But yeah, there's tragedy afoot. Also. Why did the eval bar drop more despite nothing happening? Because the computer engine realizes that Alexandra's position is much worse than the computer originally thought. So basically, the more the computer thinks about the position, the more they realize that Alexandra's position is beyond hopeless. Yeah, I'm back. Just a little break. This is the Reykjavik Open with Alexandra Botez making a return to competitive chess play. This stream is sponsored by Coinbase, which is the Botez sisters' trusted platform for trading in cryptocurrencies. You can, if you want to find out more about crypto, go to their website or their app to check out their educational resources. Also, you can do command Coinbase, exclamation point Coinbase in chat to figure out more about their, something about their app and website. Also, I want to mention that, apparently I'm super expensive, and I promised Alexandra, and I believe this is a direct quote. Let me get this up on my screen. I will promote the fuck out of your store. So that is what I'm going to do. I am currently wearing the BotezLive sweater. And it is currently available at BotezLive.shop, the merch shop. It is very soft and very cozy. I'm currently using an XL because I like my sweaters to be oversized. And frankly, it didn't disappoint. Sometimes I'm concerned that the XL is too long in my sleeves because apparently I have short arms, I have been told. But it fits really, really nice. Is it cotton? I think it's mostly cotton, but then it has like some extra super soft stuff inside. I'm not sure whether that's cotton or some tricky plastic things. But you can go to BotezLive.shop to check out the products they have. Does it say Coach Hammer on the back? If not, it needs an upgrade. Honestly should. But no, I don't think it does. Does it? No, I don't think so. I love it. Mama Botez has one as well, and she gives a big thumbs up. Somewhat biased, but whatever. It says old man. Yeah. Is there 10% off with code HAMMER? I actually spoke to Alexandra and asked if we could make a code HAMMER discount code. But I don't think it's alive yet. But at some point during this week, we will have 0% code HAMMER discount code. You don't get a discount, but you do get to tell people that you appreciate the Hammer commentary. You pay $5 more? No, Gerber. I think it's gonna be a 0% discount. But it depends on, look at that death stare she's giving to the camera right now. I think after this game, there is a chance that a hammer discount code might be added to the price. Oh gosh. What was our list of phrases to avoid? Passive, en passant, central control. Hey, Anna. Wow. Anna Rudolph in chat coming in with a 59-month resub. Oh my gosh. How are you doing, Anna? Good to see you. It was nice meeting you. Yeah. No, I mean, we had a good run. Oh, scheiße. It's way too small for me to read, and I don't have the... let me talk to Vila. Someone call that guy and tell him to move. Well, right now, he's losing a pawn, so he's probably nervous. But it is a bit ironic that he's spending so much more time thinking right now than he was at any other point during the game. I didn't even notice I said Scheiße. At this point, I've just made it so natural, I don't even notice. Is Scheiße Norwegian? No, it's German. But apparently it's not as Twitch friendly as I thought it was. I thought I need to have a swear word that's not Norwegian and not English. But apparently there's quite a few Germans around. I mean, if it was up to them, there would be more Germans around. Oh, everywhere. But, you know, even now it's... Dude. I mean, it's 80 years ago. It's 80 years ago. I mean, we need to remember, but at the same time, I think it's okay to make some jokes. Queen d4. Okay, Queen d4 defends one of the pawns, but not this one. The problem is, actually, Queen d4 is a really good move. Because now if Alexandra takes the pawn on a5, then the rook counterattacks. And the queen only has one square to go to. But then this happens. Well, actually, then we can go attack this guy. And we're also attacking this guy. I mean, this is savable. This is savable. Basically, when you're defending, the fewer the pawns on the board, the better your chances of survival. So as long as Alexandra keeps getting pawns off the board, you know, there's a chance. Can we fast forward to this point in time? Well, the problem is I suspect this point in time is rather an alternate universe. There's a fair chance that White is going to do something less stupid than than what I input on his behalf. How is she doing on time? She's down to basically like 3 minutes. Isn't she just gonna run out of time? Well, she will make a move before she runs out of time. Yeah, and also she gets 30 extra seconds per move she makes. So as long as she kind of realizes in time that she needs to go faster, that's doable. How long he's got? He's got about 25 minutes. Well, a lot of people are saying ouch for the difference in time, but frankly, at the beginning of this game, the guy had an hour 30 and Alexandra had 30. Like, him being down to having a time advantage of about 20 minutes is the lowest it's been since the game started, basically. What if she takes with a castle? Well, if Rook takes, then White can... No, actually, he can't do that, because then you take this guy. My bad. Yeah, Rook takes is good as well. Why did he have an extra hour? Because he played incredibly quickly. He played all his moves without thinking, and Alexandra was tanking. It's not like he started with an extra hour. It was more a result of Alexandra's time management. Okay, but it's fine. She's captured with the queen. No, with the rook. Is that bad prep by Alex? I mean, it's bad prep, but I'm not sure Alex is the one responsible for the prep, if I'm entirely honest with you. Bad prep by undisclosed coach. Who wishes to be anonymous for this game. I was right about the first move he made, and then just wrong about all the others. Please do your homework on the next match. I'll try. Collapso. I was really happy with the stuff we had prepared for today. But, you know, sometimes the opponents just don't play the same thing they normally play. It's pretty annoying. Who's Hammer's coach? Yeah. Hammer's probably just outsourcing his work. Honestly, wouldn't be a bad idea. If I charge Alexandra $200 per prep, and then some kind of chess prodigy, farm it off to them. Hey, you get to work with Hammer. He's famous. And you even get paid $10. So I think there's a business idea there. Okay, so the rook has gone up to attack the queen. The queen has moved away. I mean, Alexandra is no longer down a pawn. That's good. Use Chat GPT. Honestly, do you think that would work? Chat GPT. What would the prompt be? Please put together an entire opening schematic against international master Dietmar Kolbes, formerly of Germany, now Isle of Man. Probably you would need a bit more of a clever prompt than that. Ten fence and hope for the best. Honestly, ChatGPT could probably deal with fence, right? We might be onto something, chat. We might be onto something. What did this guy play? He moved his queen. I think he played queen to e3. He wants to go queen e7. Because that's going to attack the rook and help the pawn. Makes sense. Makes a lot of sense. So Alexandra will probably need to move her queen back into defense. And that's what she does. Is that Anna Kramling packing up in the background? I missed it. It's Dina, I think. Oh no, it is Anna. Or is it Dina? I can't tell. It's Dina. Hammer, are you blind? Let me just tell you guys that I have my second monitor is in like split screen with chat, and like you guys are seeing it way, way bigger than me. And also, what do you think this is? Literally hint. Okay, bishop e2. So the bishop is trying to attack both the king and the queen on the diagonal. Probably should try to avoid that. Ooh, but another problem. There's a trick. There's a trick. If king to f8. If king to f8, white has queen e7. Attacking the king, attacking the rook. And in case of a trade, you open up for the white rook against the black rook. Doesn't matter immediately because the king comes in to protect. But then the rook can check the king, force the king away, and then you get a free rook. Oh, and also you get a free bishop. Yeah, so now the trickery has begun. There is trickery happening. We need to avoid the bishop attacking both of our queen and our king, but the most obvious move to prevent those things is a losing move. Oh, she played queen b8. Yeah, check. Oh, I guess she's planning to block with a bishop. Good plan. Good plan. I mean, there's a problem with the plan, but it's still a good plan. It's like your best hope. You block with the bishop, you try and trade. And if you manage to get the trade, you have some hopes of survival, some actual hopes of survival. But the problem is, Chess Engine says pawn to d7. Looks like this pawn is attacked by 2 pieces, only protected by 1. But if you take it, it's actually checkmate. Bishop cannot take queen because the diagonal. He's not going to see that. Bortnik coming in with a rate of 235. Let's go. We're here watching the Reykjavik Open that just started in Iceland. Alexandra is making her comeback to the tournament scene. Playing here with the black pieces against Dietmar Kolbus of something as exotic as Isle of Man. Okay, here we see Vila working with the Zoom call. Vila! Do you think if Alexandra had a better coach, she would be winning? No. I mean, how can she have a better coach? I don't understand the question. Okay, Rook B3 has been played. That's a good move. It's a very good move. Okay, so now we have to go Queen A7. We need to start a counterattack on this pawn. So we have to go Queen A7. Queen A7 prediction, 30 seconds, please. Ulan gifting a sub to Anamaya. Thank you, Ulan.
They have given 478 gift subs in the channel.
Her coach didn't even teach her en passant. Do not make any such comments when she comes on. I swear I will ban you. I'm gonna struggle so much myself trying to avoid making en passant jokes. I can't have you guys coming in with bad influences. Already it's gonna be so difficult to hold our tongue. Okay, I guess it's void. I don't think we got the move in time. Okay, she went Queen D7. Now, White could have gone Rook B1 to had both rooks attack from this side. I'm kind of curious why he didn't do that. Instead, Rook B6 attacks the pawn on C6, but now Alexandra can go Queen F5 and attack the pawn on C5. That was a mistake. I'm pretty sure. Queen F5 now gives some actual potential of capturing on C5. Okay, Alexandra goes Bishop F7 instead. Why are we leaving the protection of our pawn? I think Alexandra is very, very low on time at this stage. How do chess players concentrate and focus for this long? Well, normally between waiting for the opponent to make a move, you stretch your legs and you take a break. You don't normally concentrate for the entirety of the game. What has happened? I missed a couple of moves. Rook b1. Yeah, okay, fair enough. And then she goes rook e8, attacking the queen. He doesn't move the queen. He goes rook b8, attacking the black king in return. There she was still smiling. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. A frame from better times. A blast from the past. Before and after. Oh. It would be funny if it wasn't so sad. Not my fault. It's stupid Zoom that has to capture the whole screen and not a window. Yeah, and that's precisely why I asked you to do this, Vila. But thank you for, you know, acknowledging that there's a reason for why I didn't want the Zoom call on my end. Rook b8. Ah. Rook b8. We're sacrificing the rook to block the coordination between the rooks. The problem is that after we sack the rook, well, we lose a rook. Yeah. It would be better if we could sack the rook without losing the rook, but, you know, here we are. Bishop takes. Bishop takes rook. Pawn takes. Rook e1. Actually, she took with the queen. Not really helping matters. Vila, come on. Okay, she took with the queen, offering the queen trade. Queen trade happens. Bishop takes rook. Alexandra takes back. And now the rook just comes into the e7 square. Face of the face, you're not getting timers. But thank you for your $6.09 donations. No clocks for anyone. As the dictator of the stream, I have determined it's not actually that important. We focus on the moves on the board. Chess games are decided on the board, not the clock. Rook comes in, king comes to protect the bishop, and now rook here, rook there, pawn there, game over. And he's not doing it. Instead, he moves king forward. Well, yeah. Alexandra doesn't really have any moves to make anyway. He's messing with her. Well, king here is a perfectly fine move as well. Problem is, at this point, everything is winning. So everyone, tomorrow is a double round. What that means is that they're going to be playing 2 games in one day. The first game starts at 9 a.m. Reykjavik time, which is 2 a.m. Pacific, 5 a.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Oslo, and a proper decent afternoon in Asia. So we'll have Asia-friendly streams tomorrow morning. Then she plays another game later that same day. That later game is going to be starting at 6 p.m. Oslo time, 4 p.m. Reykjavik. That's noon Eastern and 9 a.m. Pacific. Is this game pretty much over? Yeah, it is. But do stay tuned. We will be talking to Alexandra afterwards to get her impressions on the first tournament she plays over the board in a very long time. We need to act less like a Twitch chat. I'm just going to say it right now. We have to offer a tremendous amount of support. We have to be understanding. We have to be just anything you traditionally associate with Twitch chat. We have to do the opposite. There's the resignation. Alexandra gives up the game. It was hopeless. A nicely executed game by the International Master, 2,300 rated. He was rated 300 points above Alexandra. It means that Alexandra was really only expected to win 1 game and 1 draw in 10 attempts. That's what a 300 point difference mean. But the way she lost was devastating. She never managed to put pressure on the opponent. She never had any of her pieces beyond the 3rd rank. She never had any of her pieces in the opponent's half, at least not for more than a second. And she got destroyed. It was partially because of the mistake in opening preparation from a coach who shall remain anonymous. The coach searched for games he had played since 2016, but apparently Mr. Kolbas got some of his old stuff ready, which was unexpected. Don't ask me how I know this. The anonymous coach told me. And as a result, he did manage to get a nice position out of the opening, and Alexandra really never recovered. Here's the venue. There's 400 people playing in Reykjavik. For a couple of seconds there, we saw Anna Kramling, I think, still playing. Here we have it. The venue, the Harpa Concert Hall in Reykjavik. Constructed very recently. Constructed 2010. So it's a brand new venue hosting 400 chess players for this week. Is that Tari who just walked by? Very possibly could be. Aryan Tari ranked as the number 3 player in the tournament. And what in Norway? Soon number 3 in Norway as well. Here we have one of the less nice rooms at the Harpa Concert Hall. Is she talking? I don't think she's talking. Is she talking? I'll double check.
Hello?
Hey.
Oh, okay, you can hear me. 1 second.
At some point, I think he was falling asleep, so that one really hurt.
Yeah.
Is that all, Hammer? Okay, I'm gonna talk to chat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can you guys hear me? Hammer is making me feel even worse, which I didn't think is possible. Okay, hang on. Hello, chat. We hear you on Croissant. You know, it's okay. We did our best. It was the first one. I'm gonna film a game review right now. It happens. My video is whack. I'll try to fix it for tomorrow.
Just warming up, Mama Botez says.
Yeah, I saw that one. Well, it happens. I know he did fall asleep twice. It was rough. Okay, well, I'm gonna look over the game.
I would talk
You
more.
look
It's just
exhausted.
that
How
every
would you say
time
that
I
to
talk, I lose your photo. Because then it switches to me and I don't have my video there.
Yeah, okay. That's fine. That's fine. I'm just gonna hop off and set up for the recap then.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Thanks everyone. Bye.
I can't be the one to I can't be the one to pin and Zoom people because it's on Vila's computer. So Vila would have to do it. Yeah, it was a tough loss. Yeah, she was sad. I avoided all the words on my list and I still made it worse. Like I had a strategy of not, saying too much, and then me not saying anything was apparently also bad. I should have seen that coming. You had to say something at least. Yeah, but then I also saw that every time I spoke, Vila's Zoom was switching away from Alexandra's camera. I swear I would have said more if not for that. That's my excuse. I should have switched to this scene maybe, honestly. But no, we need to have the streamer on cam whenever possible. Where is she on a moldometer? I think she was on a 2 and then she became a 1 after I didn't say anything. Grandmaster in chess, less so in social skills. I'll take that. That sounds fair. Always tomorrow. And tomorrow there's 2 games. So, like, if tomorrow goes well, it could be really, really, really good. But yeah, no, this was a tough game. There's no doubt about it. I'll talk to her and talk properly after. Okay, I think that's it, everyone. If you haven't already, check out the BotezLive shop. We're gonna send you guys on a little raid. We will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is a morning round. Tomorrow's round will start at 9 a.m. Reykjavik time. Let's just say, let's hope Alexandra has a lot of coffee available to her. So yeah, 9 a.m. tomorrow Reykjavik time. That's 11 a.m. Oslo time. It's 5 a.m. Eastern, 2 a.m. Pacific. We're gonna send off a raid to Brooke. She had a party recently. Apparently Andrea was there. That's all I know about it. You know, you can ask Brooke what's up. But I will see all of you tomorrow twice. So there's that. See you around, everyone. Bye.